Concept of Sunnah in the Muwatta of Malik ibn Anas, Mohammed Yusuf Guraya, Mcgill University, 1969. Chapter 4, number 3. Al-Amr al-Mujtama'a alayhi indana, not unanimous practice or consensus. The terms Sunnah, al-Amal, al-Amr, al-Amr al-Mujtama' alayhi, etc., used by Malik in the Muwatta, were mostly based upon hadith, practices, customs, or opinions reported from the authorities quoted above. We have seen during the above discussion that Malik has opposed not only the hadiths, the reports and opinions, but also the authorities from among the companions, the successors, and his contemporaries. The authorities from among the companions were the most reliable companions, such as Umar ibn al-Khattab, Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas, Abdullah ibn Umar, and Anas ibn Malik. They include some of the most venerated and respected personalities from Malik's own teachers, such as Urwa bin Zubair, Ibn Shihab, etc. Disregarding them, all of them, Malik held a contrary opinion. This shows that Malik was not bound to following the practice of the companions, nor the practice of his own authorities, nor even the prevalent practice in Medina, but followed what he considered the practice ought to be. Further, the agreement or disagreement of a majority or minority of the scholars of Medina, past or present, had actually little to do with the idea of consensus with Malik. He declared consensus where, in fact, it was his personal opinion. It was on such occasions that Shah Waliullah said that the idea of consensus in the Muwatta was not the consensus of all the scholars of Medina. Rather, it was the opinion of some of the teachers of Malik, or the personal opinion of Malik himself. Malik said, quote, "The practice with us regarding the abandoned child is that it is free, and fealty, wala, is to the Muslims. They will inherit him." Yahya, the reporter of the famous version of the Muwatta, has reported in the Muwatta that Malik used the expression al-Amr indana, the practice according to us. Al-Rabi and Shafi'i reported from Malik that Malik used the term al-Amr al-Mujtama' alayhi indana. This means al-Amr indana and al-Amr al-Mujtama' alayhi indana were equivalent terms with Malik, as well as with his pupils who reported from him. Our inference is supported by the arguments presented by Yahya, al-Rabi, and al-Shafi'i. Yahya in the Muwatta records from Malik the decision of Umar, at the end of which Malik says, Al-Amr indana. The same case is reported from Malik by Shafi'i in Al-Umm, and in the end Shafi'i says, Malik said Al-Amr al-Mujtama' alayhi indana, and Al-Rabi confirms Malik's Al-Amr indana, reported by Shafi'i. The best evidence which Malik produced to support his claim was the decision of Umar, but the decision of Umar was that wala, fealty, of the abandoned child was to the emancipator, and Malik claimed Al-Amr al-Mujtama' alayhi indana, the agreed practice with us was that wala, fealty, was to the Muslims. This shows that Malik did not have any evidence to support his claim, except the decision of Umar, whom he opposed. This means that Malik was not shy of reporting on the subject, whatever had been reported or practiced in Medina, whether it supported him or opposed him. Moreover, he considered his personal opinions as consensus, and declared his opinion as al-Amr al-Mujtama' alayhi indana. Here, indana in our opinion means indi, in my opinion, because the reports and practice of Medina were not in accord with the doctrine of Malik, but were rather contrary to it. High authorities like Umar and Ibn Shihab held opposite opinions to Malik, and there was none in Medina who supported Malik. That is also the complaint of a Shafi'i against Malik, who remarked on the issue, quote, "I wish to know who were those who had consensus, who are not heard about and whom we do not know anything about." Malik held that the blood money of a molar tooth is 5 camels. Molar tooth. This opinion of Malik was against the decision of Umar ibn Khattab and Sa'id ibn Musayyib, very reliable authorities used by Malik himself. Malik claimed consensus on a particular form of sale, saying Al-Amr al-Mujtama' alayhi indana, that a person while selling dates can keep for himself up to 1/3 of the dates. Against Malik's claim of consensus in Medina, Al-Qasim ibn Muhammad and Amra bint Abdurrahman held different opinions, and their practice was contrary to the consensus claimed by Malik. This example also supports the view that the consensus in the Muwatta does not mean the agreement of all the scholars in Medina, not even the agreement of all the teachers of Malik and his respective authorities. This example indicates that all the authorities who reported on the issue were against the view held by Malik, and there was none in Medina whom Malik quoted in his support. These and other similar examples clarify the idea of consensus in the Muwatta. The result of all this evidence is that the consensus of Malik definitely does not mean the complete agreement of all the scholars of Medina. Malik's difference with his authorities depends upon his own discretion. Sometimes he declares al-amr al-mujtami' alayhi indana, but at the same time he reports the contrary opinion of those who differ with him on the same issue. In the process of his agreeing and disagreeing with the authorities, he does not spare any of them. Rather, he expresses his opinion whether it goes against Sa'id ibn Musayyib or Ibn Shihab, Zuhri or Urwa or Rabi'a. Malik asked Ibn Shihab about olives. He replied that there was a tax of al-ushar, 1/10 on them, and Malik opposed Ibn Shihab, saying al-ushar will not be taken except from their oil. Urwa bin Zubair used to say al-qunut is in the morning prayer in the second rak'ah before bowing. Qunut is a dua said in one of the prayers. Here Malik was opposed to Urwa and held that the qunut will be said after the ruku'. Scholars of Medina held different opinions about saying prayer before or after the Eid prayers. Malik reports Ibn Umar and Sa'id ibn Musayyib did not say prayer before or after the Eid prayer. Qasim bin Muhammad used to say 4 rak'ah before, proceeding to the Eid prayer. Urwa bin Zubair used to say the prayer in the mosque before the Eid prayer. Az-Zurqani has pointed out in his commentary on the Muwatta that Malik forbade to say prayers individually at the place where Eid prayer was going to be said. According to Ibn al-Qasim, Malik used to say prayers in the mosque before and after the Eid congregation, whereas Ibn Wahab and Ashraf reported that Malik used to say prayers only after the Eid, but not before it. Stay tuned for many more parts.